Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Oh, right. When it comes to being one of the greatest teams or one of the greatest players of all time, they end up breaking records along the way and cementing themselves in history and being remembered decades after they're gone. And this year in the NHL, we cannot talk about or stress enough about how good the Boston Bruins are. And what the Boston Bruins have done this year is, for starters, is get a record of 49, 8-5 in the 62 games that they have played. And because of all that winning they have done, they have broken so many records that we're actually starting to lose track of what they broke and how many records they broke. But here are some of the records that they have broken. First off, they are the first team in NHL history in the modern era to beat all 31 other teams in the NHL in the same season. And with all that winning, the 13 losses that they have, the 8-5 part, they have only lost to 11 different teams, despite having 13 losses. But on the winning part, they win so fast, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, like you can only do this in video game type of ridiculous. They're the fastest team to 80 points, 90 points, and 100 points in NHL history. They got to 80 points in 47 games. They got to 90 points in 56 games, and they got to 100 points in 61 games. You just cannot beat the Bruins this year, especially because they have a record of 49, 8-5. And a huge part of that 49, 8-5 record is because of how dominant they have been at home. You cannot beat Boston at home this year at all. It doesn't matter if you're Toronto, Carolina, New Jersey, Las Vegas, Minnesota. It don't matter who you are. You cannot beat these Bruins at home this year. And for starters, they started off this season with a 14-game home winning streak, which ended up being an NHL record. And now their home record this year so far is 26-2-3. And here's what they done along the winning ways of this season. They have a 6-game, 2-7-game, and right now they are on a 10-game winning streak. 4 different huge winning streaks, all in the same season. But here's the thing: the Boston Bruins' success cannot be as good as it is if it wasn't for Linus Ullmark, and the Bruins cannot thank him enough for having a serious Vezina type of season. And he has been so unreal with what he has done. A few days ago, he just broke the record, franchise Boston Bruins record for most saves in a game with 54. He also just became the first goalie this year to reach 30 wins. And a huge part of the reason of why also Boston is so good is because Linus Ullmark is allowing 1.88 goals per game. The dude is scoreable on. You just can't score on this dude. And what's really cool is last week he just got a goalie goal on the Canucks, and he's the first goalie to get a goalie goal since Pekka Rinne did it against the Blackhawks a couple of years ago. And here's the thing: this is probably the most insane record you got to beat in hockey itself, other than Wayne Gretzky's point record, the goalie record. But this specific one, you have to be so damn near perfect to break this thing, because this record stood for 93 years and it was held by a former Boston Bruin goalie named Tiny Thompson. And what this record is the fewest games to 25 victories for a goalie on the season. And Tiny Thompson did it 93 years ago inside 29 games. And this year, Linus Ullmark Omar did it in 28 games. And at the time when he got it, he had a record of 25-2-1. Linus Omar has been, or is arguably having, the greatest goalie season of all time. He's up there with one of the best, with Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin, Patrick Waugh, Martin Brodeur. Based on a single season, he's been that unreal. And here's the thing. Boston has got a lot to live up to this year so far, this season, because of how good they have been. And here's the thing. Just when you thought Boston was good enough already, well, with their record of what they have at 49-8-5, they just got even better. And here's the thing. They have 20 games left to go in this season, and I think that they're going to get 65 wins, and the record is 62, held by the 1995-96 Red Wings and the 2018-2019 Tampa Bay Lightning. So out of the 20 games, they have to win 14 out of the next 20, out of their last 20 games to be able to beat that record. And here's the thing. With how good Boston has been, they just got better, because the final week of the trade deadline, just as crazy as it was, they ended up getting a back burner player in Tyler Bertuzzi. And also, just when you thought that Boston's defense was perfectly fine and they didn't need to upgrade at all, they did it anyway, because Boston this year has only allowed 2.08 goals per game all year long, and they just got some serious defensemen in Garnet Hathaway and Dmitry Orlov, and they're still just in their primes. They're both 31 years old, and so far they have played 4 games for the Boston Bruins since they have joined. And here's the thing. Right now, they are ridiculously good on the blockage end, and that's the even scarier part, because Boston was already the best defensive scoring team in the league, and they just got 2 more guys that have a combined 165 blocks on the season. And here's the thing. When it comes to Boston what they have to live up to this season, they are going to be one of the greatest teams of all time, because there is no way that they can't be, based on the way that they're playing. And here's the thing. They have a chance to truly solidify themselves as the greatest NHL team of all time. But there are 2 conditions of what they have to do. The first condition is they have to win 60 games. They have to, because the 3 greatest regular season teams of all time have all won 60 games. And the other condition is they have to win the Stanley Cup. They have to, if they want to be solidified as the greatest NHL team of all time. And here's the thing. When a team gets 60 wins in the NHL, history says that they won't reach the national or the Stanley Cup, or let alone win it, because of the 3 other teams that have won 60 games in a year were the 1976 Montreal Canadiens, the 1995 Red Wings, and the 2019 Tampa Bay Lightning. The Detroit and Tampa tied for 62, and Montreal had 60. But here's the thing, only one of those teams, and that was the Montreal Canadiens, won the Cup. So history has got a lot against the Bruins if they get 60 wins. And here's the thing, based on the final stretch of the season, there's a good chance that they could be 62 wins, because I think that they will get 65 wins, and right now they are on pace for 65 wins, and they have 20 games left. And now, inside the 25 games, or 20 games that they have left to play, they have to play 7 top-tier teams that are top tier and have a shot at getting into the playoffs when the time comes right now, because they are in a playoff spot. Out of those 7 top-tier teams, Boston has a combined record 10-3 against them, and even though they have 20 games left to play, and they're on pace for 65, and that is really tough to do because there is a huge difference for being on pace than what you actually get. And if they get 65, that is winning 16 of the final 20 games that they have. And being 10-3 against those final 7 top-tier teams, they actually have a good chance. They have a tiny chance. I would say they have a 35-40% chance to maybe get, let's just say they do get 65 wins. They have like a 35-40% chance to be able to pull off an extra victory or 2 because of that 10-3 record. And and they could pull off a video game stunt and win 17 or 18 out of the final 20 games and get 66 or 67 wins. And based on what Boston has done this year and what we have all witnessed them do this year, all we have to do is just sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and see what they're going to do next. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media. And please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever. And I'm out.